Hey guys, my name is Lockie and this is Coast Watch Football, your home for all things A-League men's. And right now, we're going to preview round 16. Things are really starting to heat up in the A-League at the moment. We're seeing some gaps being created in the ladder. Teams still have some games in hand. Every match, you just don't know what to expect, of course, as it is every week in the A-League. So let's talk about the games right now. Friday night, Brisbane Roar, Melbourne Victory. Of course, Brisbane on the foot of the ladder at the moment after that loss to Perth Glory last weekend. Melbourne Victory getting back to winning ways last week against the Mariners. These two sides met back in round 2, where Victory won 3-0. Brisbane, though, have won their last two home games, and that's something to note heading into this one. Brisbane have just been a different beast when they play away from home compared to when they play at home. At home, I mean, they've had impressive wins recently against the Wanderers, against Macarthur FC, but away from home, they're just looking really lackluster and out of ideas. Melbourne Victory could potentially trouble them, though, in this game. Last meeting, though, in Brisbane was an entertaining one. You can see here ending 5-2 in favour of the Roar. Of course, though, Melbourne Victory were struggling big time in many games last season. So it is a completely different Melbourne Victory team playing in this game. Brisbane have only scored, though, one goal in their last 3. So again, a bit of another negative statistic for Brisbane Roar. That's sort of the thing that's trending for them at the moment. So, against Wellington Phoenix, against Perth Glory, unable to find the back of the net. And if you look at those games, they actually managed to create a good number of chances, but just didn't have the quality to put those chances away. And that's the question now. Is it going to be Lascano, Cyrus Demi, Luka Ivanovic? Like, who's going to be the man to step up and start banging in the goals for Brisbane Roar? Because that's the concern for Warren Moon right now. Key battle, though. Corey Brown, former Melbourne Victory fullback, up against Micah Rojas. Two of these teams' best players so far this season. I think Corey Brown's been fantastic in a defensive sense and an attacking sense. He scored a wonderful goal last time around, a couple weeks ago rather, against Macarthur FC at home. And Micah Rojas, we know the danger that he poses to opposition defenses. My prediction, though, I think Victory just a class ahead, especially when you look at the teams on paper. They should get away with a 1-0 win in this game. It could even be more. I don't have enough faith in Brisbane to pull a result, especially against quality opposition like this. So Victory to get an away win in this game. Next up, we got Newcastle Jets, Macarthur FC. Of course, these two sides met back in round 5. Macarthur winning 2-1 in that one, and that was a fascinating game because Philip Curto was sent off in the first half. Jets were up 1-0. But from there, Bulls actually managed to come back with 10 men, ended up winning the game 2-1. So it'll be interesting to see how this clash pans out. Across the 3 meetings in total between these two teams, Bulls have 2 wins and just a 1 draw. So Jets still yet to defeat Macarthur FC in that team's short history so far. Mixed home form for the Jets is currently the story for them. 2 wins and 3 losses. And again, that's something that will be concerning Coach Arthur Pappas, the fact that his Newcastle Jets side, while at times look very impressive, and there has been some games where they've really turned it on, just aren't doing it consistently enough, and they need to make their home base a fortress up there in Newcastle if they're going to be a top 6 side. Both teams, of course, will be playing midweek games on Wednesday, and just as a side note, the stats that you're seeing here on the video are all taken before the midweek fixtures, so not taking the midweek fixtures into account, so before the midweek fixtures that are taking place. Key battle in this game, though, Jason Hoffman, Craig Noon. Hoffman, ever present at the back for Newcastle Jets this season, and Craig Noon's really been stepping it up in the last couple of weeks. Fantastic goal against the Mariners, and he scored a goal against Adelaide United, and his passionate celebration was something that really caught my eye. It was good to see that from a Bulls side who are still growing their fan base, and to see that passion from a player like Craig Noon, who really could be a leader in that side to help them push into the top 6 once again this season. It was really, really good to see, I think, for Macarthur Bulls fans. My score prediction, though, I'm going to say 1-1. I don't think there's enough to suggest that either of these teams are going to run away and win this match. They're both still sort of finding their feet in terms of consistency. So I think it's safe just to bet on a 1-1 draw. Saturday night, though. We're going to talk about the 2 Saturday night fixtures because I'm so keen for this, man. Of course, my Central Coast Mariners will be taking on Adelaide United, and letting you guys know right now, we're going to be doing a live double watch-along once again this Saturday night for the Adelaide Mariners fixture, and the other one we're going to talking about in just a sec, Sydney FC, Melbourne City. So join us live on the live stream from 7:30 p.m. Saturday. But Adelaide Mariners, last time Mariners beat Adelaide away was 2016. It's been a very long time between victories for the Mariners in South Australia there. Adelaide's home form, though, I thought this is worth pointing out. Adelaide's home form, despite being third on the ladder at the moment, They only have 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses. It's not necessarily that impressive. They do come back late in games, though, regardless. So we can expect that from Adelaide United in this game. Regardless of the scoreline, they will push this game late. There hasn't been a draw in this fixture, though, since 2018. I thought that was a fascinating statistic. Mariners, of course, will be coming off a midweek clash with Melbourne City. Adelaide United having a few days extra to relax and prepare for this game. But the key battle, man, this one's going to be really exciting, man. Craig Goodwin, one of the most exciting attackers in the A-League right now, up against Lewis Miller, who has been superb for the Central Coast Mariners. Will be very interesting to see those two players go up together. But look, my score prediction here, you can see it at the bottom. Adelaide 2, Mariners 2. Look, I might be bold calling out as a Mariners fan. I know we've been struggling. The result against Melbourne City will be interesting. Might dictate how this one plays out if Mariners could get a result there. But I think against an Adelaide United, defensively haven't been that impressive this season. Someone like Jason Cummings could show up in this game and bag away some goals. We've seen it. He's already grabbed 2 goals so far this season, and he takes his opportunities when he gets them. So against a defense which has been a little bit leaky this season, Jason Cummings could capitalise and maybe Mariners sneak away with a 2-2 draw in this game. But let's talk about the game of the round, because it is, of course, the rematch of last season's grand final. It's been so long. Usually we see it take place in the opening rounds of the season, but of course due to COVID that wasn't able to happen. Sydney 4th, Melbourne City 2nd, so it's a top-of-the-table clash. Last time, though, City won away to Sydney was March 19. It's been a little while. Sydney have been holding their own against Melbourne City in recent years. Both sides will be coming off midweek fixtures, of course. So you're playing Mariners, Sydney playing Western United on Wednesday. Potential minutes, though, for new signing Luciano Narsing, if he doesn't already feature against Western United. But look, if not, he could well have a cameo in this game against Melbourne City. Really excited to see him in the A-League, man. Key battle, though. Paulo Retre, former City midfielder. Macarthur, former Sydney FC attacker. Will be very fascinating seeing those two guys go up against each other. If Paulo Retre is indeed back, it could be Mustafa Amini playing in that number 6 role for Sydney FC. But Macarthur, man, I mean, either one, they're going to have their hands full with Macarthur, man. Macarthur is maybe, look, as just as a neutral, my favourite player to watch in the A-League. He's just so good on the ball. You saw it against Newcastle Jets, the way, for that Leckie goal, the way he took on so many players and teed it up for Matthew Leckie was just so beautiful to watch, and he could potentially be the key to unlocking what can sometimes be a very stubborn Sydney FC defence. My score prediction, though, 2-2. I just think there's so many weapons in attack for both sides. When you look at Sydney FC, Lafondra, Camp Sober, potentially Luciano Narsing, Ninkovic, Caceres, Max Burgess, Bobo off the bench. There's so many names there. And then Melbourne City, of course, we think of Jamie McLaren, Matthew Leckie, Andrew Naboot, Marco Tilio, and Florian Berenguer has been in fantastic form as well from midfield. So look, this is a very high quality matchup in an A-League sense when you look at these two teams. So, man, this one's going to be so exciting to watch. So I'll be keeping my eyes glued on both games on Saturday night. Of course, make sure to join us for that double watch along. 2-2, my prediction for that one. Perth Glory take on Western United down in Tassie. Potentially, though, Perth's last game before returning to Western Australia hasn't been confirmed yet at the point of this recording, but it could potentially be their last time before they return to Western Australia for an extended run of home games. Head-to-head, Western have 3 wins, Glory 1 win, 1 draw. Both teams, of course, coming off midweek fixtures, as a lot of teams are at the moment. 2 best defences, though, in the league. This is what we have to point out in this fixture. Western United, 11 goals against. Perth Glory, yes, they haven't played as many games, but 7 goals against. We have to talk about that, man. I mean, even the games they have played Perth Glory, they're not conceding goals. And you have to give credit to guys like Aaron Calvert, Darren Latchman, Anthony Burke-Gilroy right back, who have been looking real good and holding their own in games where, at times where they've been, weeks without play, without playing a competitive game, with all the stoppages that they've had and all the travel that they've had to do. They've done really well to not just fall apart at the back. They're holding their own against every opposition so far this season. It really is impressive stuff from Richard Garcia's side. The key battle, though, and speaking of that Glory defense, 2 absolute beasts. And man, I had to bring this one up. And this is my most exciting key battle this weekend. Darryl Latchman in defense for Perth Glory. Beast. Absolute tank of a man up against certainly a tall, strong man in himself in Alexander Privic. And Privic has been looking very good in Western's previous game last weekend against Western Sydney Wanderers. He grabbed a goal and 2 assists, of course, assisting that Ben Garuccio Scorpion goal. Really getting involved in attack. He's not just sitting up and just chilling. he's helping out his fellow attackers, and that's good to see. I like seeing that from a striker. So that will be a really interesting battle to watch. Two big players coming up against each other there. But because of that defense, because of these two defenses, and I don't often do this, I'm calling it a nil or draw. I'm calling it a nil or draw. And look, I think if a team does win it, it could be a sneaky 1-0. It could be a sneaky 1-0. Of course, Bruno Fornaroli always seems to chip in with the goal. So whether it is a sneaky 1-0 win for Perth, that would be a big 3 points for them. Western United, though, have just been so strong of late. I can't see them losing this one. And look, I think a nil or is a fair shout. The other Sunday night game, they're both kicking off at the same time on Sunday evening. Western Sydney Wanderers at home against Wellington Phoenix. Should be an interesting one. Of course, Wanderers still looking to find their feet under Mark Rudan. These two sides met back in round 3 in Wollongong, where Wellington lost out 2-0. Wanderers picking up the win in that one. That scoreline, don't let that scoreline fool you, though. There wasn't, by any means, a dominant performance by Western Sydney Wanderers in that game. Wellington have won the last match at Parramatta, 2-1, which took place last season. The Wanderers, though, of course, we have to point at their mixed form. 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. They've played plenty of games at home. I mean, that's a fair number of games at home already this season. And they're just unable, whether it is under Carl Robinson or Mark Rudan, unable to really find some consistent home form. And yes, they did get results against recently Melbourne Victory and before that against Perth Glory at home. So Mark Rudan will look at those results, take the positive out of those, and look to continue that sort of that winning form if they can in this game. Wanderers will be coming off a midweek fixture in Newcastle. So Wellington, a few extra days to prepare for this game. My key battle, Adama Traore, who, look, we talk about the Western Sydney Wanderers and the players and how they've been lacking confidence and underperforming, especially the big names. Adama Traore's flown under the radar a little bit and has been really consistent. If you watch him and the way he plays and his defensive ability, he's been really solid. And a player who, look, to be fair, sometimes his aggression can get the better of him. We saw that last season for Melbourne Victory. There were a couple of times, maybe 1 or 2 times, he picked up a red card where he can get a little bit heated at times. But for this season, he's remained really professional and really he's an experienced head in that Wanderers defense, which has been chopping and changing next to him. There's a number of centre back partnerships that Wanderers have had this season. I've lost track of it, man. So who knows what centre back pairing they'll line up with in this game? But Adama Traore will have his hands full against Gail Sandoval, fantastic player for Wellington Phoenix. He's settled right into the A-League. But my score prediction, it's a big one. I'm going to say Wellington 2-1. I think Wellington have just been too good lately. Very gritty 1-1 draw with Sydney FC, a game that they almost won. But Western Sydney Wanderers, again, just not enough to show that they will get the win here. And against the Wellington Phoenix side, there's just so much optimism around Phoenix. I think they will win this game. I think they will. Look, it could easily go either way, of course, as we always say in the A-League, but back in that Phoenix win. Of course, drop your predictions down in the comments section down below. Always love hearing you guys' thoughts and what you think. Maybe you've got some contrasting views to me. Would love to hear those. But a fantastic weekend of football coming up, of course, in round 16 of the A-League men's competition. Make sure to join us here live on YouTube Saturday night for the double watch along. Adelaide Mariners, Sydney, Melbourne City, the grand final rematch. Dude, I'm so excited, man. So excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. My name's Lockie. This is Coast Watch Football. If you have enjoyed, make sure you hit like and you can subscribe if you're not already. If you want to stick around to more content just like this. I'll see you guys in the next one.